Close your eyes for a moment and feel the life you desire as if it were already yours. Let it be vivid, let it be alive. Now imagine a clock not simply as a tool for measuring time, but as a symbol, a living reminder of your new state of being. This clock is not there to remind you of waiting, it is there to remind you of now. The moment you choose to live in the assumption of wealth, abundance begins to take root. You see, the mind responds to symbols. Every object in your space is a silent messenger to your subconscious. Place this clock in the spot where your eyes naturally rest often. In your workspace, your living room, the place where you make decisions and dream, each glance becomes an unspoken affirmation. This is my time, not tomorrow, not someday, now. The clock is no longer ticking away hours. It is counting the moments of your abundance unfolding. When you hang it in this intentional spot, you are telling your inner self, I am ready for my wealth to arrive. You are making the invisible visible. The clock becomes a constant agreement between you and the reality you have claimed. Every tick is a whisper. Money flows to me with ease. Every talk is a confirmation. Opportunities are arriving now. Do not treat it as decoration. Treat it as the living seed of your fortune. Feel joy when you look at it. Let it remind you of the lavish life you are already inhabiting in imagination. Let your thoughts align with the life of one who is already prosperous. The clock becomes your anchor to this truth, and as you live in that state, unshaken, unhurried, and certain, you will watch as life mirrors that certainty with wealth, opportunities, and blessings beyond measure. Time is not your enemy. It is your servant. The world may have taught you to race against the clock, to fear its passing, to count the hours as if they were slipping away from you. But when you understand the secret, you no longer chase time. You allow time to work for you. The moment you place that clock in its chosen spot, it stops being a reminder of what you lack and starts being a constant signal to your subconscious that wealth is present. Wealth is here. Wealth is yours. This is not superstition, nor is it some idle ritual without meaning. The placement of an object in your space can transform the atmosphere you live in. Everything you see repeatedly shapes your inner world, and your inner world shapes the outer. That clock, placed deliberately where your eyes will find it again and again, will begin to reprogram you, not because of its mechanics, but because of the meaning you assign to it. And the meaning you assign to it is this: it is my time to prosper. Every time your gaze falls upon it, let your mind not think of the hours passing, but of the abundance that is arriving. Imagine that with each tick, the current of wealth is moving toward you, contracts being signed in your favor, unexpected opportunities unfolding, money finding its way to you from sources seen and unseen. Let it remind you that the universe is not slow, but precise. Your wealth is arriving exactly when you are fully aligned with it, and that alignment is happening now, in this very moment. Each time you acknowledge the clock. Some will hang a clock without thought, seeing it only as a household object, but you are not doing that. You are hanging a declaration on your wall. You are choosing a place where your conscious mind will encounter a quiet, powerful message dozens of times a day. It is already mine. That is the language the subconscious understands, not begging, not waiting, but the assumption of having. And once the subconscious is convinced, the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. He thinks it does not come, which is the reality of working for it. You may wonder why this works. It is because the subconscious does not differentiate between what is real in the physical world and what is real in imagination. When you look at the clock and pair it with the feeling of having already received your wealth, you are merging an external stimulus with an internal assumption. Over time, this combination becomes a dominant belief, and beliefs are nothing but thoughts accepted as truth. Once accepted, they harden into reality. Think about how the placement of certain objects in your life has always carried meaning. Photographs of loved ones, souvenirs from trips, awards, or certificates. They don't just sit there, they constantly reaffirm a part of your identity. In the same way, this clock will reaffirm a new identity, the wealthy, abundant, secure version of you. Every glance is a micro moment of reinforcement. You are feeding the image of wealth inside you until it becomes your natural state. And here's something most overlooked. Time is not linear in the way you've been taught. The past, present, and future are happening now, in consciousness. When you look at the clock with the awareness that this is the moment of my wealth, You collapse the imagined distance between desire and possession. You stop looking at wealth as someday and start experiencing it as already here. That shift is the very thing that summons it into the physical. Imagine this. You sit at your desk, working, and your eyes wander for a second. They land on the clock. Instead of thinking, oh, it's already noon, you feel, yes, my wealth is here. My life is rich now. You continue with your day, but something is different. You walk with more confidence. You make decisions with more clarity. You speak with more certainty. Without even realizing it, you've begun to live as the wealthy version of yourself, and life responds in kind. Do not underestimate the subtlety of this practice. Small, repeated signals are more powerful than occasional bursts of intention. You don't need to sit in meditation for hours trying to force wealth into being. This clock will quietly and continuously do the work of keeping your mind aligned, because it's in your environment, in your daily field of vision. You will see it when you wake, when you eat, when you work, when you rest, and each time you see it, the feeling of already having will deepen. Place it where it feels natural, but also unavoidable. Above the entryway where you leave and enter your home, reminding you as you go out into the world that you are already abundant. In front of your desk, where you make choices and take action, so that every decision flows from a wealthy state of mind. In the kitchen, where nourishment is prepared, reminding you that your life is full and overflowing. Wherever you choose, make it intentional so the message cannot be missed. But understand, the power is not in the clock itself. It is in your awareness. Without awareness, it's just another object. With awareness, it becomes a sacred trigger, a personal talisman of wealth. That's why you must infuse it with meaning from the very beginning. When you hang it, do so with a sense of ceremony. Hold the clock in your hands and speak your truth inwardly. From this moment forward, this clock measures the flow of my abundance. Each tick is wealth arriving to me now. You may even imagine that behind each tick is a specific event. An email confirming payment, a client saying yes, a gift arriving unexpectedly, a new opportunity opening up. Feel the reality of those moments as if they are unfolding now. The more vividly you connect those feelings with the clock, the stronger the association becomes, until you no longer even have to think about it. The feeling will arise automatically. What you are really doing is conditioning yourself into the frequency of wealth. People speak of attracting wealth, but in truth you are aligning with it. You are tuning yourself like an instrument to the song of abundance. And once you are in tune, you can't help but hear it everywhere. Your actions will begin to match your state. Your conversations will reflect it. Your energy will radiate it. Others will sense it without knowing why. And opportunities will naturally gravitate toward you. Perhaps you've noticed before that when you are in a state of lack, you keep encountering delays, bills, setbacks, and missed chances. That's because lack begets lack. But now, with this constant reminder of my time is now, you are reversing that pattern. You are affirming over and over that you live in the flow of abundance. That flow has no resistance, no fear, no waiting, only receiving. And here is something miraculous. Once you commit to this practice, you will start to notice coincidences. The moment you stop thinking of wealth as future and begin feeling it as now, the world around you will shift to accommodate that truth. Someone may suddenly offer you a deal. You may find unexpected funds in your account. A project may close faster than expected. These are not accidents. They are reflections of your new state of being. If you ever doubt, return to the clock. Let it speak to you again. Remember, it is not the ticking that matters. It is what the ticking means to you. In your mind, the hands of the clock are not moving toward a distant goal. They are revolving in the eternal present, where you already possess all that you desire. You are simply watching the physical world catch up with what is already true in consciousness. Your wealth is not somewhere in the future. It is here, waiting for you to step into it fully. And each time you look at that clock, you are stepping into it. You are breathing it in. You are letting time work for you instead of against you. The universe honors those who live as if their desire is already fulfilled, because in the realm of the unseen it already is. So let the clock be more than an ornament. Let it be your reminder, your affirmation, your silent partner in creation. Hang it where it will speak to you the most, and let it tell you the one truth that changes everything. The moment for your wealth is not coming. It is now. I can extend this to the full 2,000 words by adding deeper visualization practices, real-life scenario examples, and expanded subconscious reprogramming explanations, so it becomes a long-flowing speech ready for recording. Do you want me to continue and bring it to the full length? When you pass by it in the morning, do not simply glance. Pause for a moment. Let your breath slow. Let your body relax. Feel the air in the room, the stillness beneath the ticking. Allow yourself to imagine that every vibration of that second hand is moving in harmony with the flow of wealth into your life. See it as a living stream, invisible to the eye but undeniable to the soul. Imagine each tick as a deposit into your account, each talk as a door opening to a new opportunity. Let this sound be a rhythm of assurance, not a reminder of waiting. In the quiet hours of the evening, when the world slows, the clock will speak even more clearly. You might be sitting in your favorite chair, sipping tea, reading, or simply resting. Your eyes drift toward it, and suddenly you remember. You are already the person you once wished to become. You are no longer striving from a place of absence. You are living from a place of fullness. This awareness changes the way you hold yourself, the way you breathe, even the way you think about tomorrow. Tomorrow is no longer a place to reach. It's just another moment to enjoy the wealth that is here now. Do not think you need to work harder to make it happen. That is the old way, the way of strain and effort, born from the belief that you are separate from your desire. This practice is not about effort. It is about embodiment. It is about becoming the version of yourself who has already crossed the line, who already owns the life you desire. And once you are living from that state, action flows naturally. Opportunities no longer feel like struggles to grasp. They feel like inevitable steps you were always meant to take. Perhaps you are wondering, can a simple clock really have that much influence? Remember this. Your subconscious is influenced by repeated exposure. A phrase you hear often becomes part of your internal dialogue. A song you listen to daily becomes etched into your mind. A picture you pass by every day shapes the way you see yourself. The clock works in the same way, but more subtly, more deeply. It's not just a decoration. It's a constant visual cue tied to a feeling. Feelings are the language your inner world understands. Imagine yourself walking through your home weeks from now, having done this faithfully. The clock is there, and without even thinking, a small smile comes to your face. Why? Because it no longer just represents the practice. It now represents the evidence. In these weeks, you've noticed an increase in opportunities, unexpected gifts, doors opening with ease. You've seen the way your own energy has changed, how people respond to you differently, how you make decisions from a place of calm assurance. The clock has become a witness to your transformation, and in its silent, steady movement, it tells you, yes, this is your time. Do not be surprised if others notice the change in you before you fully see it yourself. They may comment on how lucky you've been lately, how confident you seem, how things just work out for you now. They will attribute it to chance, but you will know it is not chance. It is alignment. You have trained yourself to live as if wealth is already yours, and life has no choice but to respond in kind. When you look at the clock, allow yourself to feel gratitude, not only for what is coming, but for what is already here. Gratitude is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It turns the invisible substance of thought into the tangible form of reality. Gratitude says, I acknowledge this gift, and in acknowledging it, you multiply it. The clock is your reminder to remain in that state of thankfulness, not because you are trying to force more to come, but because you are already aware of the abundance surrounding you. At times, the clock may feel like a still point in a rushing world. Others are hurrying, worrying, scrambling to get ahead. But you, anchored by this simple object and the truth it represents, move with calm certainty. You are not racing against time. You are working with it. You are letting time deliver your blessings in perfect sequence. And because you are not desperate or impatient, you will find that things arrive faster with less struggle. This is the paradox. The less you chase, the more you receive. If ever you feel doubt creep in, use the clock as your tool to return to certainty. Stand before it, breathe, and recall the life you are creating. See it in detail. Feel it as real. Speak inwardly. This is my life. This is who I am now. Then carry that feeling with you into your next action. That single shift in state can change the outcome of an entire day. Over time, you may begin to notice the clock itself seeming different. It is the same object, but it feels charged, alive, almost as if it is aware of its role in your journey. This is because you have infused it with meaning through your repeated attention and emotion. What was once an ordinary object has become a personal symbol of transformation. That's the beauty of the mind. It can take anything and make it sacred if you give it purpose. You might be tempted to tell others about this practice. Some will understand, others may laugh. It doesn't matter. The power of this is not in convincing anyone else. It is in the quiet, private agreement between you and your own mind. Keep it personal, keep it intentional, and let the results speak for themselves. You may even begin to notice that other areas of your life are shifting: your relationships, your health, your sense of peace. This is because wealth is not only money, it is a state of richness in all things. When you align with abundance, it shows up in every form, not just in your bank account. You may find new connections that bring joy, solutions to problems that once seemed unsolvable, or experiences you never thought you could have. All of this is part of the same flow, and the clock is your constant reminder that the flow is always active. One day, without realizing it, you will glance at the clock and feel no gap at all between your inner vision and your outer world. You will see the evidence of wealth all around you, in your home, in your lifestyle, in your freedom, and you will remember that it began with a simple choice: to take control of what you see daily, to place a symbol in your space that would call you back to your truth again and again. Time will continue to move, as it always has, but now it moves in harmony with you. It is no longer something to fear or fight. It is your ally. And every tick of that clock will continue to tell you what you have come to know with certainty. Wealth is not in the future. It is here. It is now. It is yours. There will be moments when you pass the clock without consciously thinking of it, and yet something within you will shift. That is when you will know the practice has taken root. Not when you force the thought of wealth into your mind, but when it arises effortlessly. The clock will have become part of the background of your life, like sunlight through a window or the steady hum of the world outside. And yet it will be working in the hidden layers of your consciousness every single time you see it. In the beginning, you will deliberately remind yourself of its meaning. You will stand before it, feeling the wealth you are claiming. You will imagine the experiences, the freedom, the joy. But with time, the ritual will dissolve into something even more powerful. It will become second nature. Without effort, the sight of the clock will bring the feeling of abundance. Without effort, your choices, your posture, your energy will align with the person who already has everything they desire. You may notice that opportunities you once overlooked now catch your attention. You may hear of an investment, a partnership, a new market, and instead of dismissing it with "that's not for me," you will consider it from the perspective of someone who has the means, the courage, and the readiness to say yes. The clock is not giving you those opportunities. It is shaping you into the version of yourself that recognizes them and moves toward them. There will also be days when the external world seems to contradict your vision. Perhaps a bill arrives, or an expected payment is delayed, or a project doesn't go as planned. In those moments, the clock will be your silent ally. You will look at it and remember that the outer world is just a reflection of past states. And past states have no power over your present reality unless you grant them permission. The ticking will remind you that every moment is a chance to choose again, to step back into the certainty of abundance. You will begin to feel that wealth is not about getting, but about being. It is not a chase, not a prize at the end of a long road. It is the natural condition of a mind that refuses to dwell in lack. The clock helps anchor you in that condition. Every day it asks you, without words, "Who are you right now?" And you will answer without hesitation, "I am the wealthy, abundant, free version of myself." That answer will shape the way you speak, the way you move, the way you relate to others, and ultimately the way the world responds to you. Over time, the external results will pile up. You may notice more money flowing into your accounts from multiple directions, some expected, some a complete surprise. You may find yourself surrounded by people who speak the language of growth and prosperity rather than complaint and limitation. You may find that your environment shifts to reflect your new state. A more beautiful home, a more inspiring workspace, a more vibrant social life. All of this begins with a single, repeated message. It is my time now. The beauty of this practice is that it does not require constant mental strain. You are not sitting for hours trying to visualize until your mind feels tired. You are simply placing yourself in the path of a reminder, a visual, physical object that holds the meaning you have given it. This is why it works so well. It slips past resistance. It does not demand, it invites. It does not strain, it affirms. It works in the quiet spaces between your conscious thoughts, reshaping your self-position at the deepest level. In the stillness of the night, when the house is quiet and the clock continues its steady rhythm, you might lie in bed and feel the truth of it even more deeply. You may recall the day and see the small signs of wealth's presence, a kind gesture, an unexpected opportunity, a moment of inspiration. You will realize that these are not random, but the natural outflow of your new state. The clock does not just measure time. It measures the unfolding of your chosen reality. As weeks pass, you may feel a sense of partnership with it. You may glance at it before making an important call, before walking into a meeting, before signing a document, and each time it will steady you. It will remind you that you are not approaching the world from a position of need, but from a position of having. You are not asking life for permission. You are affirming that life already agrees with your abundance. You might even notice that your relationship with time itself changes. What once felt like pressure now feels like flow. You stop saying, I don't have enough time, and start saying, time expands for me. You stop feeling rushed and start feeling perfectly paced. You notice that the right people and opportunities arrive at exactly the right moment, without force. This is because when you live in the state of already having, you no longer push against life, you move with it. And perhaps the greatest change of all is the sense of peace you will carry. Wealth, true wealth, is not just numbers in a bank account. It is the absence of fear around money, the absence of panic about the future, the absence of that quiet anxiety that hums in the background for so many. The clock with its steady, unhurried rhythm will mirror that peace back to you. It will remind you daily that abundance is not a frantic race, it is a calm knowing. Some will wonder how you seem to do less and achieve more. They will see the ease with which you make decisions, the grace with which you receive, the gratitude with which you live. They may call it luck, timing, or even coincidence. But you will know the truth. It is alignment, pure and simple. You have aligned your inner world so completely with the reality of wealth that the outer world had no choice but to follow. And if one day you choose to move that clock to a new spot, perhaps into a bigger home, a new office, or a space filled with even greater beauty, you will do so with a smile. Because you will remember the day you hung it with intention, the day you told yourself, this is my time. And you will see the proof all around you that time listened and time delivered. You will have learned something profound, that wealth is not about chasing moments, but about living each one fully, as if it already contains everything you desire. That a single symbol, charged with meaning, can transform your life when paired with feeling and belief. That the smallest changes in your environment can produce the greatest shifts in your destiny. And through it all, the clock will keep ticking. Not as a reminder of what is passing, but as a constant celebration of what is present. Each sound will echo the truth you have come to live by. The time for your wealth is always now. So let the world measure time in hours, days, and years if it wishes. But you measure it in fulfilled desires, in moments of gratitude, in the richness of now. That clock on your wall is no longer just a keeper of minutes. It is a witness to your transformation, a declaration that your season of abundance is here. Every glance, every tick, every talk is life itself agreeing with you, affirming that you are no longer waiting, you are living it. Hold to this truth with unwavering faith and watch as the floodgates of wealth swing wide, pouring into your life with a power that cannot be stopped. This is your moment, and it will not pass you by.